Welcome back. Ukraine is one of the largest exporters of wheat, corn, and sunflower oil. And with ports shuttered due to the Russian invasion, little is making it out of the country right now. Republican senators are warning that Russia is using food manipulation as a weapon. During a meeting at the U.S. Capitol yesterday, lawmakers worked with Ukrainian leaders to turn attention to the global food security crisis. Let's talk about it now with Iowa Senator and Senate Armed Services Committee member Joni Ernst, along with Ukrainian Civil Society and former Ukrainian Parliament member Hanna Hopko. Great to see you both. Thank you so much for being here. Senator Ernst, this is really scary. I want to start with you. You hosted this meeting yesterday with Kansas Senator Roger Marshall was there as well. And I spoke with Roger Marshall on this program last month about global food and a crisis caused by this war. I want you to listen to what he told me, and I got to get your reaction. Watch this.
I'm a big agriculture guy. 12–15% of the agriculture products, corn and wheat, sunflower oil, come through that Black Sea. And fertilizers come from that area as well. So there actually is going to be a famine in 1 to 2 years from now. I think 2 years from now will be even worse.
A famine? Senator, I have not heard the word famine in years. Your thoughts on what's going on now as a result of this war?
Yes, thank you, Maria. And it's great to be joined by Dr. Hopko this morning as well. Senator Marshall and I did host this meeting yesterday here at the Capitol, and he is absolutely correct. About 40 to 45% of the production in Ukraine will be decreased this year because of the war and the scarcity of supplies that go into the planting season. And we know that Ukraine also supports about 400 million people around the world with its food products. So we do see that we have an impending famine. And I've heard from David Beasley at the World Food Bank that he's now going to have to take from the hungry to feed the starving.
What can you do about it, Senator?
Well, again, I think that we all agree the quickest way to address this situation is for Ukraine to actually win this war so that they can get back to whatever normal is after this invasion. But simply supporting them with the lethal aid is a step forward. Additional sanctions on Russia, a step forward. But then there are ways that we can help provide diesel fuel, which is necessary for the planting season in Ukraine, because all of their diesel fuel is going towards the war effort. We can assist with other types of planting measures, but there are many things we can do. But bottom line, Maria, Ukraine must win this war and win it quickly.
Senator, you make so many important points. I want to come back to that and ask you about the weaponry that they need and why they don't have it. But Dr. Hopko, let me switch gears and get your take on what we're seeing on the ground and what the consequences are of this. You heard Roger Marshall call it famine expected in the coming years.
Thank you for this question, and thank you, Senator Marshall and Ernst, for organizing this important event. Why? Because famine, it's a word well known in Ukraine, because in last century, Stalin organized artificial hunger, famine. It's genocide against Ukrainian people. And now Putin is using Russian aggression against Ukraine to organize a famine worldwide. Why? Because if Ukraine planting season is at risk, it means that people in Middle East, in Africa, in Asia, which depends on Ukrainian food, corn, sunflower, wheat, so they will face hunger, and there will be a refugee crisis. And this is why I agree with Senator Ernst that the faster we receive weapons, we unblock Ukrainian ports, because many American companies, they bought millions of tons of wheat and other agriculture commodities, and now it's stuck in the Odessa and other ports of Ukraine. And we need anti-ship weapons, and also to demine the Black Sea. What Russians also are doing, they are creating economical and global food crisis.
Well, I mean, look, I don't know, Senator, are our priorities off? I mean, look, when you consider what we're talking about here and the fact that we're so reliant on foreign countries for so much, even food. I mean, Ukrainian President Zelensky told the Irish Parliament yesterday that targeted Russian strikes are aiming to destroy civilian infrastructure, cause widespread hunger. Listen to this.
They also consider hunger as their weapon against us ordinary people, as a tool to dominate. Ukraine is one of the leading countries in the global food market. Without our exports, it is not simply a shortage, but a threat of famine for more than a dozen countries in Africa and Asia.
I mean, now we're talking about famine and food shortages. Yes. Do you think maybe the administration might want to shift priorities toward getting production facilities back to America so that we don't have to rely on foreigners for our food as well as our medicine, rather than prioritizing electric vehicles?
Yes, Maria, absolutely. I think this administration has a lot of priorities that are just simply wrong for the American people. And certainly you bring up the electric vehicles. Well, we need to unleash American energy. That's so important. Bring production back to the United States. We are very fortunate here in the United States that we are able to produce the food that we need. And that's exactly what Ukraine does as well. It does grow and produce the food it needs. But Ukraine and the United States are very similar in that we export much of what we can grow and produce to those countries that can't produce the types of food products that we do. But you're absolutely correct. This administration has bent to the far left. They are following a deranged climate policy. And because of that, they've lost sight of issues that are important to the American people. And certainly, going back to lethal aid, we have to make sure that Ukraine wins this war.
Why are there weapons that are not there yet, that they're still waiting for? What's the holdup, Senator?
Yes, and this is a question that was posed by Dr. Hopko and the group of Ukrainian Civil Society leaders that we met with yesterday. And we are pushing as Congress to make sure that we have the funding for lethal aid. And so there seems to be a slowdown, whether it's through the DOD or our NATO partners, but they have asked for the equipment that will help them win this war. I am adamantly in favor of making sure that we are providing everything for the Ukrainian men and women to be victorious.
Well, thank you, Senator, for that. Senator Ernst will be watching your efforts. And Hanna Hopko, we so appreciate you joining me this morning. Thank you so much. We'll be watching this story closely, and we'll be right back. Stay with us.